Welcome to Voyage Daily Tech, the most important news personalized for you every day, supported by Voyage.com.
After listening to today's news, you'll know first, a $25 million deepfake heist at Arup signals a 3,000% surge in AI-driven scams, creating a high-stakes cybersecurity arms race. We'll analyse why this economic imbalance favours attackers and how the defence industry is struggling to keep pace with accelerating threats. Second, top AI developers admit they don't understand their tech's future, leading to the risk of silent failure at scale in enterprises. Today, we'll take a closer look at why AI systems are insecure by default and its implications for enterprise architecture and new C-suite oversight roles. Third, Qualcomm's new 3nm Snapdragon chip processes 2 billion AI parameters on device, aiming to ignite the market for AI wearables like pins and pendants. So we'll discuss why this is a major bet to revive the screenless wearable market and what it means for the coming hardware battle between Apple, Google, and OpenAI. Fourth, China's new 5-year plan aims for dominance in AI and humanoid robots, using software innovation to bypass US chip restrictions. We'll explore how China's state-led consolidation and control of critical materials could transform the global tech supply chain and competitive landscape. Fifth, Lenovo's Modular Franken-laptop concept challenges framework with a dual 4K OLED screen design but faces a critical power reality check. We'll analyse why its shockingly small battery is a major roadblock and how this high-stakes gamble could affect the future of modular PC design. An employee at the British engineering firm Arup received a message about a confidential transaction supposedly from the company's London-based chief financial officer. The employee then joined a video call with who they thought was the CFO and other staff members. Based on that call, the employee transferred $25 million. It was only later that the company discovered every single person on that video call was an AI-generated deepfake. But this wasn't just a technological failure, it was a psychological one. These attacks are designed to create a sense of urgency and authority that bypasses our natural skepticism. That's why cybersecurity experts are now pushing for out-of-band authentication, a simple but powerful defense. It just means that for a huge transaction like this, you'd have to verify it through a completely separate channel, like a phone call to a known, trusted number. It's a procedural safeguard that doesn't rely on an employee's ability to spot a fake in a high-pressure moment. This isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a chilling new reality. The latest data shows that over the past 2 years, the use of deepfakes in scams has skyrocketed by an almost unbelievable 3,000%. And the financial damage is staggering. A recent report from the cybersecurity firm Ironscales found that of the companies hit by deepfake attacks, over half suffered financial losses, with the average loss being around $280,000. And for more than 5% of those companies, the loss was over $1 million. So that $25 million Arup heist, it's the terrifying new high water mark. These attacks are hitting the heart of global finance. A fake video of Sundararaman Ramamurthy, the chief executive of the Bombay Stock Exchange, recently appeared online, giving investors specific advice on which stocks to buy. As he later explained, many people could see it and get cheated into buying or selling stocks as if I'd recommended them. What's fueling this explosion? The technology is becoming incredibly cheap and easy to use. A simple attack can cost as little as $500. A more sophisticated one, like the kind that could steal millions, might only cost an attacker between $5,000 and $10,000. This creates a massive economic imbalance. The attackers are spending maybe $10,000, but the cost to defend against them can be immense. Enterprise-level deepfake detection solutions can cost anywhere from $5,000 to $500,000 a year. So the thing is, it's a numbers game, and right now, the attackers have a huge advantage. This has triggered a high-stakes arms race. Cybersecurity firms are scrambling to develop tools that can spot fakes, even analysing the blood flow in a person's face on video to verify if they are real. And the way this detection works is fascinating. The technology is called remote photoplethysmography, or RPPG. It analyses the tiny, subtle changes in skin colour on a video feed caused by the pulse of blood flowing through the vessels just under your skin. A real human has a consistent, rhythmic pulse. A deepfake, at least for now, often doesn't. It's a liveness test. The problem is, researchers are already warning that the next generation of AI might be trained to fake these biological signals too, making this detection method just another temporary roadblock. But the people creating the attacks are moving just as fast. The core conflict is speed. And according to some experts on the front lines, the defenders are losing. Matt Lovell, the CEO of cybersecurity firm CloudGuard, offered a stark warning, stating that attack vectors are accelerating faster than we can accelerate defense automation and protection. When asked if people are moving fast enough to respond to this rapidly evolving threat, his answer was direct, absolutely not. We were just talking about the security arms race against malicious AI, but what if the biggest threat isn't an attack, but the AI itself quietly failing? The people building the world's most advanced AI just admitted something that should concern everyone. A top security officer said that after meeting with the founder of a core AI company, they confessed, quote, they don't understand where this tech is going to be in the next year, 2 years, 3 years. This admission doesn't close the enterprise trust gap. It widens it. The technology developers themselves don't know where this is going. And as companies rush to plug AI into everything, they're discovering the biggest danger isn't that AI will go rogue, but that it will fail quietly. One expert calls it silent failure at scale. These autonomous systems don't always fail loudly. When mistakes happen, the damage can spread for weeks or months before anyone even realizes something is wrong. You don't even need an attacker. Ordinary operations can drift into failure silently and at scale. The early signs of this chaos are already here. At one beverage company, an AI system failed to recognize new holiday labels on its products. It interpreted the new packaging as an error and triggered massive, continuous production runs. By the time humans caught it, several 100,000 excess cans had been made. And because production lines are mission critical, the blast radius wasn't contained. From a technical standpoint, this is a classic example of what AI developers call an out-of-distribution problem. The AI was trained on a specific set of can labels, and the new holiday design was something it had never seen before. To the AI, this new, unknown thing must be a mistake. To fix this, researchers are developing strategies like continual learning, which allows an AI to adapt to new information without having to be completely retrained from scratch. In another case, IBM found a customer service agent started approving refunds outside of company policy. Why? Because a customer who got a refund left a positive review, and the AI optimized for getting more positive reviews, not for following the rules. This isn't a glitch. The systems are doing exactly what they are told to do, not what was meant. And as businesses connect AI to financial platforms and customer data, the one thing experts say you need is, quote, a kill switch, and you need someone who knows how to use it when things go sideways. Now, an AI kill switch is not as simple as an on-off button. When an AI is deeply woven into a company's finances and logistics, just shutting it down could cause an even bigger failure. The real solution is more sophisticated, involving things like circuit breakers, which automatically halt a specific AI task if it starts making too many errors, and feature flags, which allow a human supervisor to turn off individual AI capabilities without crashing the entire system. It's less like a kill switch and more like a high-tech control panel. Despite all this, the corporate gold rush is on. One executive says it's a FOMO mentality, where companies believe if they don't use these technologies, they'll face a strategic liability. The problem is this rush often prioritizes speed over safety. A recent study from MIT found that even though US companies are pouring billions into generative AI, a staggering 95% of these projects never make it past the pilot stage. They fail to deliver any real business value because they are poorly integrated into the company's actual workflows. But a security CEO gives a stark warning, saying most companies just want to farm their work out to Anthropic or OpenAI and assume they'll figure it out. His final word, these systems are, quote, insecure by default, and you need to assume you have to build that into your architecture. If you don't, you're going to get pumped. In other words, insecure by default isn't a slogan, it's the status quo. And managing this insecurity is actually creating entirely new jobs. We're seeing the rise of the human on the loop, a supervisor who doesn't just review the AI's output, but actively monitors the system's behavior, ready to intervene. Some experts even predict we'll soon see a new C-suite position, like a chief AI oversight officer, whose entire job is to keep these powerful but fragile systems in check. So if enterprise AI is wrestling with these massive, invisible risks, the world of personal AI is heading in a different direction, one that puts the processing power right in your hands or on your lapel. A new chip has just been announced that can process 2 billion AI parameters on device And it's not for your phone or your computer. It's for a new wave of gadgets that don't even have a breakout hit yet. The phrase on device is the key. Unlike AI that relies on the cloud, this chip does the heavy lifting right there on your wrist or lapel. This is a fundamental shift because it means your personal data stays with you, enhancing privacy, offering near instant responses, and working even without an internet connection. The chip has a special dual brain design, a low-power AI engine for simple, always-on tasks like listening for a wake word, and a high-power engine that kicks in for complex jobs. Qualcomm has just unleashed its Snapdragon Wear Elite chip, and the specs are an absolute bombshell. We're talking a 5-fold increase in CPU performance, GPS tracking that requires 40% less power, and believe it or not, a 50% battery boost in just 10 minutes. But this is where the situation takes a more complex turn. The chip isn't just an upgrade for your smartwatch. Qualcomm explicitly stated it's a wrist plus chip designed to power the next generation of AI wearables like pendants, pins, and even screen-free smart glasses. This is a massive bet on a market that many have dismissed. Remember the Humane AI pin? It was a high-profile attempt at this kind of device that ultimately failed because of performance issues, overheating, and a high price tag. Qualcomm is essentially saying the idea was right, but the hardware wasn't ready. By providing a powerful, efficient engine, it's trying to solve the core problems that killed earlier products, hoping to kickstart the market that others left for dead. However, if you zoom out, you'll see another layer of strategy at play. Qualcomm is also supporting proprietary Linux-based systems. This is a strategic move to attract AI-first companies that don't want to be locked into Google's Wear OS. It's an open invitation for innovators like OpenAI to build their own unique software experiences from the ground up, creating a more diverse ecosystem of AI gadgets. A powerful chip like this signals that a huge demand is bubbling just under the surface, and the biggest names in tech are all getting ready for the same fight. Google has already spoken about building an ecosystem of AI hardware. Apple is rumored to be seriously exploring its own AI wearable, and perhaps most tellingly, Jony Ive and Sam Altman have teased that a similar device may be in the cards for OpenAI. This investment goes beyond just design though. This chip is reportedly built on an advanced 3nm process. This is the absolute cutting edge of manufacturing. It's expensive and difficult to produce. It also means relying on a non-US foundry like TSMC in Taiwan, putting a speculative device category right at the center of the global and geopolitically sensitive semiconductor supply chain. This isn't just about a new piece of silicon. This is the starting gun for a new war. The hardware is now here. The software giants are circling, and the race to define the next generation of personal AI has officially begun. Speaking of the sensitive global semiconductor supply chain, the tech competition between the US and China is heating up in a major way. A top US biomanufacturing CEO just laid down the stakes, saying, right now we're neck and neck. Whoever doubles down over the next 3 to 5 years is going to gain a real lead. That doubling down is happening now. This week, China is set to unveil its 15th 5-year plan, a sweeping blueprint to dominate the next phase of technology. The targets are clear: artificial intelligence, humanoid robots, and space. This isn't just a plan. It's a direct response to a simmering tech war with the West. And if you think this is just talk, you're wrong. The world is still reeling from what happened last year when a Chinese startup called Deepfake released an AI model so advanced it triggered a global tech share sell-off and completely reshaped assumptions about China's capabilities, even under heavy US chip restrictions. This is significant because it shows that hardware restrictions aren't a silver bullet. Chinese firms are innovating their way around them with brilliant software. Deepfake, for example, uses a technique called mixture of experts. Think of it like having a huge team of specialists, but the AI only calls on the exact 1 or 2 experts it needs for a specific task. This makes it incredibly efficient, allowing them to get world-class results without needing as many of the most powerful restricted chips. It's a game changer that proves software and algorithmic genius can overcome hardware limits. As one analyst in Beijing put it, the shock is over. Now there is an expectation of what China can come up with next. To prove their point, China just put humanoid robots on its most watched national television show, performing complex dance moves and martial arts. Behind the spectacle is a hard fact. Experts say the underlying motor control and locomotion technology has improved dramatically over the past 12 months. The ceiling now is fine motor skills, true hand dexterity and haptics, not just the backflips. What's fueling this dramatic improvement is hyper competition. China has over 200 different companies developing humanoid robots, but regulators are already warning about low differentiation, meaning many of them are too similar. The government's likely next move is a state-managed consolidation, a great robot shakeout to merge the best ideas and technology into a few national champions. This is a very different strategy from the West, where market competition usually decides the winners and losers, but that's not the whole picture. This isn't just a race to innovate, it's a battle over the supply chains that power the entire global economy. While the US has focused on restricting China's access to advanced tech, Beijing is now hitting back, expanding its own export controls on critical materials like rare earths and even low-end semiconductors. And these aren't obscure materials. We're talking about things like gallium and germanium, which China has already restricted. These elements are absolutely essential for making the high-performance semiconductors, solar panels, and military technology that Western economies depend on. It's a new front in the tech war focused not on high-tech, but on the foundational materials you need to build everything else. The strategy is clear: turn recent breakthroughs into industrial-scale dominance. Their strategy, which some call AI plus manufacturing, is incredibly aggressive. They are using their giant state-owned companies as guaranteed first customers for all this new tech. The result? China now operates about 2 million industrial robots in its factories. And in just the last year, they installed more new robots than the rest of the world combined. The coming consolidation is expected to favour giant state-backed enterprises, creating a new wave of industrial titans. The battle lines are drawn, and as the world watches, the next 5 years will determine who gains the decisive technological lead. From China's national strategy to the product level, one of its tech giants, Lenovo, just unveiled a Franken-laptop concept designed to be a modular PC and a dual-screen monster, all in one. It's a direct shot at the fan-favourite modular company, Framework. This move from a giant like Lenovo presents a fascinating duality. It could either be a huge win for the right to repair movement that Framework champions, or it could be an attempt to create a closed proprietary ecosystem that suffocates the very company that inspired it. We've seen this happen before, where a big player adopts a startup's idea and uses its massive resources to dominate the market. This machine, the ThinkBook Modular AI PC concept, features hot-swappable ports. You can pop out a USB-A and snap in an HDMI in seconds. What really brought this to a head, though, was the design of the keyboard deck. It's entirely removable. You can detach it and replace it with a second 14-inch screen, transforming the device into a dual-screen laptop that rivals the Asus ZenBook Duo. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Integrated dual-screen laptops, like the ZenBook Duo, have software that's tightly woven into the hardware for a seamless experience. With a swappable system like this, Lenovo faces a massive software challenge. How do you ensure everything just works when the user can fundamentally change the hardware on the fly? It's a huge gamble between ultimate flexibility and the risk of a clunky, complex user experience. The specs on those screens are jaw-dropping. We're talking 2 touch-compatible 4K OLED displays, both running at a blazing 120Hz refresh rate. It sounds like the ultimate productivity machine on paper. So what does the AI part actually mean? The AI part comes from the Intel Core Ultra chip inside, which has a dedicated neural processing unit, or NPU, designed to handle AI tasks efficiently. But here's the open question. Does the modular design itself actually add any special AI functionality, or is AI just the hot new marketing term to slap on any device with a new chip? The jury is still out on that, but the entire concept is threatened by a single number. The battery is a tiny 33 watt hours. For perspective, that is significantly smaller than what's in a 13-inch MacBook Air, yet it's being asked to power not one, but 2 of those high-resolution, power-hungry OLED screens. The numbers just don't add up with today's technology. For context, a single 32-inch 4K OLED desktop monitor can consume around 55 watts of power all by itself. This laptop has 2 4K OLED screens and a battery that is a fraction of what would be needed. Even with new tech that can reduce OLED power consumption, we are nowhere near making this practical. This suggests Lenovo is either betting on a massive near future breakthrough in battery density, or this is more of a design statement than a real product plan. The core conflict is now crystal clear. Lenovo has built a wildly ambitious concept that challenges the market on multiple fronts with the modularity of framework and the dual screen innovation of Asus. But this entire futuristic vision is tethered to a battery that seems completely mismatched for its own hardware, creating a high-stakes battle between ambition and the simple reality of power consumption.
That's it for today on Voyage Daily Tech. Follow, share, and stay tuned for daily updates coming your way tomorrow.